I hope you are well. Welcome to a Nook chat. I thought it was time to do another one. I don't have 100 million things to talk about, but I have a few bits and bobs to talk about. I went to the second Sydney pen show yesterday. I attended the first one last year, the very first one, and Sian and I attended the second one this year together yesterday, which was really lovely to sort of get out of the house. And I bought a few odds and ends from the one major thing, thanks to my darling husband, but the other bits and pieces, and I purchased a book at the Japanese bookstore, and I thought I'd just have a little chat for a Nook chat. I'm gonna have a chat about this little baby underneath here, show you through a bit of my journal, show a little bit of a haul. So there's something for everyone. Normally my Nook chats are like a sort of what's been going on in my world, and the video tier normally know everything because it's just a roundup of those sorts of things. But the haul is different because they don't actually know what I purchased, because I didn't put anything up on social media. I was actually going to take my camera and film the pen show. I'm so glad I didn't. There was so many more people this year than last year, and I felt that I think next year they may have to get a bigger space, or they need to do something, because there was just a lot of people in a very small confined space, and there was no way I was going to get a chance to film anything. I was just dealing with the fact there was a lot of people. So I think I might talk about what I picked up yesterday. I bought things from the pen show, and I also bought things from Dimmicks, which is a bookstore here in Australia, but in the city there is a Dimmicks stationery, which half the store is broken up as a bookstore like normal, and then the other half is all devoted to stationery. They did have a stall at the pen show, but I was looking for a specific pen. I didn't buy a pen last year from the pen show. I actually ended up buying my pen in Kinokuniya, I think, and I bought a bright yellow Pereira. But this year I was looking for a pen that Maria told me that I needed, and I said, okay, I'll go look for it. It shouldn't break the bank too much. It'd be nice to pick up a pen. They didn't have it at the show, but Dimmicks definitely had it in store, and I had a 20% off voucher from the pen show thanks to a lovely lady who got the goodie bag before we did. We got there late and we just missed out on a goodie bag, and inside the goodie bag was a 20% off pen voucher, and she said that she wasn't going to use it and handed it to me, and I picked up my pen with that. So I was very happy to be doing that. Now let me just move my journals out of the way, and we'll come back to those. I've got a nice hot cup of tea here, so hopefully I remember to sip it. Now I picked up a few little things at the pen show. Yeah, I didn't pick up heaps because I obviously did damage on one specific item that I knew I was going to pick up. Well, I didn't know, but I had hoped that Josie, my girlfriend, who, I'm not sure if I've mentioned her too much to the overall patrons, but Josie and I met through planning way back when I was in my very first Malden Filofax, and we actually met through our love of Gilio, and we met up in real life, and I remember having tea with her on our very first meetup, and we literally sat in a coffee shop for about 6 hours just talking planners and stationery, and it was just like I found my first stationery friend in real life, and we've been friends ever since. And she did the flowers at my wedding, and I just adore her. Anyway, she recently went to Japan and picked a few things up for me. I'm about to do the same for her, but while she was in Japan, she made a very valuable friendship and has become the first supplier, well, I don't say first, but the most recent, and I feel going to be the most influential supplier for superior labor in Australia. And so she brought some items that she had ordered to the show, and me being a friend, I said, what did you get? Show me before the show, show me before everything. And so she showed me all the things that she had, and I asked her if I could have one of those items put aside for me and I would pick it up. And I had some money left over from what I had sent her to Japan with, so it made it even cheaper for me, because I said to her, hold on to my change, keep it for when you get your stock, and I will hopefully be able to find something that I can buy from you, because I'd love to support you and your little business venture. I think she's got a website. I'm not sure if it's up and going yet, because she literally sold out of everything she had bar a few inks. So I will put her link in the description below. I don't know if it's up yet, but I'll link all her social media. But yeah, if you are loving Superior Labor and find it hard as an Aussie to deal with international shipping and conversion prices, because our dollar is in the crapper, she will be the person that I will purchase from, unless there is like a collaboration through some of the other stores, like Baumkuchen have the collaboration things, and they will obviously be, you know, set to that store. Anyway, I'm babbling. So I picked up a few Blackwing pencils. Now, I messaged Amber while I was at the show and said, are you around? Please be around. And she was. And I showed her a picture of what this stall, the Journals, which is actually a store in Paddington, which we're going to visit, had a little selection of Blackwings, and there was quite a few, not quite a few, but they had a couple of limited editions, including this beautiful grey one here. It is actually round, and when I showed her what they had on offer, she asked me to grab 2 of these for her, because she said they were really, really hard to get in America. So I grabbed her 2. I also grabbed myself one. I'm not really thinking twice, because I do collect them as well. And I also picked myself up the nice rust colored one. I have quite a collection of my my pencils. I have them all sort of littered around my desk in all different places. I kind of have them in all different pen pots. That's probably the closest one that I can pick up. I have been trying to find her this one. I've only got one of them, and it's one of my favorites, but I can't find it anywhere. So I've kind of been looking for her, because I know how much she loves them. So I picked those up. Not the green one, I've owned that one for a while. And I also, from the same store, let me just pull out I picked up from the same store some red erasers. Now I have the pink ones, and I feel like I've got blue ones maybe, but I hadn't ever seen the red ones before, so I grabbed some red ones because I thought they would look cute with some of the colored ones that I have. I also have like the purple version that was very pinky purple, so I thought that would be a cute eraser to go on top. So these and a couple of erasers are going to Amber. I'm so glad she was around on Messenger for me to be able to show her the pencils. I'll see if I can get them up close, see if my camera will do it. Are you going to? Come on, you know you wanna. You know you wanna. But yeah, she apparently said they were really hard to get in America, and I was so glad that I found something worthy of sending to her, because I'd been really struggling to find anything unique to send back to her. So I'm glad I grabbed her those, and they were only $4 Australian with the discount code. They were offering 20% off on the day 2 from this company, and so they came down to $4 Australian each, and Amber lost her mind because apparently they're super expensive on eBay, because obviously they're past limited edition, so they're not really available. And this guy, I left one at the table. I literally left one because I was like, I can't buy them all. I can't be that person. So I did that. I left one for some other lucky Blackwing person. I'm actually going to cut this bag down and use the paper, but I'm also going to hopefully get to visit the store. They're running a traveler's notebook workshop, so I thought I would pop on over for that. Now, I also picked up from another little store these Super 5 ink cartridges in the red. I also have one olive one in here, and that was because one of the girls that I went with, she bought the olive, I bought the red, and we traded a cartridge so we could each try without picking those up. I currently use the black. These ones fit into your Traveler's Factory little fountain pens. They're fabulous for that, so that's kind of why I grabbed the red, because I do really love sketching in red, and I love that they're waterproof. I will go back and buy a bottle of the black ink probably a little bit later on. Dimmick sell it, so I'm going to try that once I've run out of my cartridges. So I picked up some Super 5 ink. Have really been enjoying this little ink cartridges, especially the black ones in my Traveler's Factory pens. I grabbed a Pebble Stationery & Co. Field Note size limited edition blue. Oh, it doesn't look like it's a very lovely blue shade, but in real life it's really lovely. This is 3.5 by 5.5 inch. It is dot grid. It has 80 pages. And it is 52 GSM Tomaway River paper, and there did come in a pack of 2, but Sian and I went halves. And I'm actually going to pop this into my standard, and when I go to Japan I am going to actually write down feelings and thoughts and daily musings on these papers, so that when I go back and do my journaling over night time and do my proper journaling, I can either rip out what's in here and put it into the journal, or I can copy it. But that was the one regret that I had with my Japan journal. Is it close by to even bring out some eye candy? Man, this is what happens. I put journals away, and I know I've seen it recently. Here it is. That was the one regret that I had with my Japan journal. It was not having those in the moment reactions, those in the moment memories or writings. I didn't come back and write daily or nightly, or even when I was on location or just sitting in a cafe and just thinking and feeling all the feels. I didn't capture those moments, and I feel like they are so integral to a travel journal that this time I wanted to really make an effort to do that. I did some of it like kind of when I was in the airport and stuff, because we had quite a little bit of a wait, and I got to do it then. But when you're sort of out and about, and Japan, this is the first time I went to Japan, and I didn't do that, and so I'm gonna try so much harder this time and sort of try really hard to do a lot of that in-house, like in-feeling journaling, getting those stamps into my book, just not stressing so much about my journal being a work of art and more of it being a travel memento. And I think I do love where this journal is going and how it's developing and all the beautiful aspects of it. But at the same time, a lot, if not, I prepped pages before I went, so I had stuff to go. And that meant I had, like, you know, colored pages and a few bits and bobs. But a lot of my journaling has been done after the fact, and I want to do, in the journal that I take to Japan, I want to do a big mixture of journaling on site and actually getting those pages done and not stressing about, is it beautiful, is it a work of art? I really want it to capture the essence of the trip. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I mean, I love my Japan journal. It's one of my favorites. It's still not done a year later, but I do want to focus really heavily on having those journaling moments while on the trip and just writing my reactions and feelings as they happen, but also having some bits and pieces of when I'm either at the hotel or back home. So I thought a little companion notebook would be nice, and it was so cute. And supporting indie brands in Australia is something that I just want to do. So I think this was $16 for 2, so it was $8 each for a little notebook. Really beautifully well made. They also had A5s and a grey version of this size. I wish they did passport inserts, but because I'm considering taking my little passport to Midori, but we'll see. But I know that this will obviously fit quite happily inside here on the strings in the back pocket or something, so we'll see how that goes. So I did grab that. I also picked up this little baby in the Dimmicks store. This is the Kueko in the sort of pastel pink color. They brought out a pastel range. This is in the ballpoint. Didn't get a fountain pen, wanted a ballpoint. Maria, I laughed. Maria goes, you need this pen, you need this pen, you need this pen. But she actually got the one that is like this. So this is my brass one. She got the ballpoint that is a clicker, but they didn't sell that style that I saw in Dimmicks, or I just for some reason thought that it was this one, but I got the one with the cap, which I kind of prefer. I really do like the clip as well, which comes with it here in Australia. I know some countries don't sell it with the clip. And I also picked up a couple of ink cartridges for it. So I got a gel one, and then I got two one fine and one extra fine in the ballpoint, and it's because Sian bought one pack of fine. I think she bought extra fine and I bought fine, and we traded, so we got one of each. So I've got two ballpoint ones and one gel one. pretty sure it came with a gel. Yeah, it came with a gel, but I prefer a ballpoint, and so I've got a Monteverde one in there at the moment in black, and it's really cute. It's really light, and I love this shade. I have the bubblegum pink in the Kaweco. It was my very first fountain pen back in the day. I have quite a collection of Kawecos now. And I'm not even going to bother getting them all out because I have quite a few, and I don't want to be judged right now for how many pens I actually own. But I thought this was a lovely little memento for the show. It came down to around, I think, $32 once my discount was on. I think, don't quote me because I don't have my receipt here. And I think that was a pretty decent little pen price. I didn't go overboard, didn't want to get a really crazy pen, but I really loved the color when Maria showed me. It hadn't really been on my radar until Maria said this is a beautiful pink, and then I kind of looked a bit closer and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't like the Lamy pastel pink. I think that's more peach than pink, and the guy behind the counter tried to show me the Lamy, and I was like, nah man, me and Lamys are not friends. I own one and that's enough. So that was my pen purchase from Dimmix, and I think it's really cute. It fits really nicely in my pen loop, and I might be the one that sits in here for Japan, or I might just have my ballpoint Traveler's Factory to sort of complete the feel and the look. So that was my one pen purchase. In Dimmix, I picked up a few I picked up the entire collection because they were only $2, and these are all little Beatrix Potter prints, little cards and envelopes that I thought would make really beautiful tip-ins in my junk journal. Probably not in this one, but in my next one, because my current one is so fat that if I was to put these in there now, it would just not work. And I probably am going to send one to Sandra because I know that she will love it. Sandy will love it. So they are all there. They are all beautiful. They didn't have Mr. Toad, which I was a bit sad about, but they were only $2.25 each, and I thought they were such beautiful little cards. They're little watercolors with all the prints on them, and they came with those cute little envelopes. Even if I turn them into tip-ins, those envelopes will come so handy. So I grabbed all of them. I picked up a very fine syringe to fill my ink cartridges with, to refill my ink cartridges with. I finally remembered while I was standing in the chemist to get my migraine medication script to get a syringe finally. Now, this is probably what you're all sitting here waiting for. I picked this up through Stryan & Co., which is my lovely Josie's new side hustle, and it is so beautiful, and you are going to be very shocked with the color that I actually picked. It ain't pink, but I think it is partially Mitz's fault for why I got this. I'm actually going to go grab something to show my thought process behind this purchase and it all together, because I think I'm just going to shut up and go get the other thing. Hold on. So in this month's or last month's, in the most recent one that I have received in the stationery selection box, we got this Superior Labor canvas pouch that Mitz picked all the colors, including the zipper color, everything. And when I opened it, I really liked it. And you know how much I don't like green. And I verbalized how much I don't like green. Green used to be my favorite color in high school. I used to wear 70s green eyeshadow on my eyes from my mum. But as time's gone by, I just haven't really been that girl that has heaps of green. I like to wear green. I will sometimes journal with green, but that's kind of where the love stops. I don't outwardly go and journal in green. I actually did the most recent Choose Your Own Adventure journaling challenge with green. But this was the pouch that we got from Mitz. This is currently what is in my handbag. I've got like medication, my AirPods, and a whole stack of makeup, extra cards that I don't use on a daily basis, Band-Aids, cough lollies, headache tablets, you name it, it's in here. And I've been using this in my handbag for a couple of weeks now since I've had it. It's getting a little bit of crud on it. Anyway, when I saw this and when I asked Josie what she got in her order and could I have a look at it first, because if there was anything that I really wanted, I know she didn't order, she ordered one of everything that she ordered, not knowing what would sell and what wouldn't. So I knew if there was something she ordered that I wanted, I needed to pounce and ask her to put it aside and not put it out for sale. And so I asked her what she got, and she showed me two things that I was actually looking for or had considered purchasing when I was doing my order with Baumkuchen recently for the utility pouch. And this was the other thing that I considered buying, but all of them were for pre-order or black, and I don't want a black. And the pre-orders weren't coming in until like late October, some of them January, depending on the shade you wanted. But Josie said that she ordered the two colors that she ordered because they are autumn limited edition colors. So I was like, fancy. So here is her information here if you want to screenshot it, but again I will try and put everything down below for you. And I've got like the little leather tag, and you could probably tell by the tag what color it is. But I picked up this beautiful zipped pen case in the olive green. Can you see? Can you see where I'm going with this? Can you see? I'm just like trying to make my Japan fantasy come alive, and I was like, I need this. And it was so pretty. It has pen slots here, and the lovely girl that I went to the pen show with, oh geez, my battery is flashing, so before I get ahead of myself, I'm actually going to switch my battery over, and so that I don't get cut off mid-sentence, because I really hate that. So give me 2 seconds and let me switch batteries. Okay, so the lovely lady Marissa, and I'm going to bring up her Instagram feed so you can see her. Ooh, my phone's attached to the battery pack, so she is here. You might follow her on Instagram already with her lovely watercolors and things. So there's her feed there for you to look at. She actually picked up the orange one, which is the other color. So I will show you the two colors side by side. I'll show you what Josie sent me so you can see. Well, maybe I won't be able to. Did I screenshot them? Please tell me I screenshotted them. So there they are in normal sort of sunlight, like normal light. And the orange is it's like really bright. And the green looked too dark in that shot. And I was like, nah. But when she showed me in the proper light, I saw how lovely the green shade was. And then it reminded me of the pouch that we'd gotten from Mitts. Brain's a bit broken. Anyway, Marissa got the orange one, and then she instantly set it up while we were sitting at the cafe having breakfast. And this is the toolkit palette, and the little portable sort of key business card size one. I know that Brie uses it and recently did one on the Demi palette on YouTube. Anyway, I ordered one last night finally. I have carted that palette so many times, but now there was 4 of us splitting shipping. I could justify it. I couldn't justify it as a single person because it was like 17 or 15 or 16 US dollars for, you know, one person shipping regardless of what you purchased. And I was like, that is half the price of the palette. I can't do it. And so I carted it so many times. But last night I finally did it, especially when I saw Marissa set hers up in the coffee shop in front of me, and it was perfect. And I was like, right, it's done. It's no deals. I have to grab one. So that is exactly the kind of thing that I am going to do as well. Pens in here, watercolor palette, and this will be coming to Japan with me. And I also really, I don't know if I would feel comfortable putting my Pocket Rocket palette in there. I feel like it's just a bit too chunky. I mean, it will close, but it also means that I would not put any pens in there because it's just too big. So I'm going to put the little credit card palette in there and some of my paintbrushes and pens in here. And then I really just loved how it looked like this. I really loved how it looked. I loved how it all looked as a trio, and then I am seriously considering putting my supplies in here for Japan instead of my Delphonics pouch, my pink one, because all I took last year was my small Delphonics pouch and that was it. And I know that we're doing a lot of sharing of supplies with the girls because we don't all want to take the same stuff. So that was my big splurge purchase. Thank you to my hubby, because basically he paid for it. We both get an allowance every month. No, every once a month we get an allowance. Or once a month. See, I don't even know. And he saves his like a squirrel. Like a squirrel hoarding nuts. And I am the worst. I've always got a wish list, and I'm always using my allowance on wish list items. And obviously my allowance has been squirreled away for Japan as much as I possibly could, as well as my babysitting money. Whereas hubby, he doesn't actually really, he doesn't have any real physical hobbies that have like physical items that you purchase. He games, he's all set up for gaming, and that's kind of it. Gaming is his hobby, and he's very happy with all the things that he has. He's never looking to upgrade. He never uses his allowance on anything. So when he does use his allowance, it's normally on me. And that's what makes him happy. And then when I said I was going to the pen show, that I had my eye on something and that I might crack some of my allowance to purchase this, because I really loved it. I knew I was getting a discount on it anyway because of the Japan money that I'd given to Josie previously. He purchased it for me. So he is a keeper, and it is beautiful. It feels so lovely and soft, and I can't wait to use it. And it just looks so lovely with all that sort of natural looking. It's a very different take from what I'm taking last year. Last year I went all crazy and poppy and beautiful and colorful. This year I'm going very neutral and very OG TN, but we'll see which one I enjoyed the most. But that was my large purchase that I made yesterday, and everything else was kind of smaller. I didn't spend too much, but obviously with the palette included, it was a little bit more than I'd expected to spend. And then this was the last sort of purchase I made on the day when we went to the Japanese bookstore. I always try and buy at least one art book while I'm there to support bricks and mortar bookstores. A couple of times I've walked away without buying any because I just hadn't found anything that I really loved or spoke to me. So it was nice to finally find one that I could bring home. If you're familiar with Ray Dunn, the lovely artist that makes all those beautiful inspirational mugs with all those words on them, I know there are huge people out there that collect everything and anything with her stuff and her handwriting on them. I even have a couple of mugs. Not many. I can never find the cool ones. I always find the lame ones because she's not huge in Australia, and they only really come in via TK Maxx or TJ Maxx. So what the ones that we do get is like nothing compared to what you guys get in the US. Anyway, this caught my eye. They had a sample copy, and then they had all these ones wrapped up. So I looked through the sample copy, and I stood there because I'd already spent all this money. And I was like, oh my goodness, it is beautiful. And then I called Sian over and I said, do I need this book? And she flipped through it and she's like, oh, it's really nice. And then I even sent a video of me flicking it through hubby, and I said, do I need this book? And he said, if this brings you any speck of inspiration, then yes you do. And I was like, this is why I married this man. It is beautiful. It is so aesthetically pleasing to look at. It has ideas. I haven't read it all. I've been sort of doing that because there's not heaps to read. It's a very it's got a feel to it that just makes you feel happy. It's got ideas and tips and beautiful photographs throughout her creative process and what she does to stay inspired. And so it is just those little tidbits that you want to savor. And so I've been reading it sort of in bits and pieces and sort of flicking through the pictures and just really soaking it in. It's one of those books that I can see coming back over and over again. Like some of my Sabrina Ward Harrison books, they're just books that I have on hand and close by. because they make me feel inspired just by flicking through some of these books. And it's not, you know, riddled with huge amounts of technical information, but sometimes the technical information bogs me down a little bit, and it's this sort of stuff, those short, to the point and whimsically creative books that really just make my heart just boom with excitement when I read them and see them and visually just drink it all up. These are the books that just I want to fill my library with. I just think there's only so much technical stuff that my brain will handle. I still, even if I read all the technique books in the world, I would still just draw the way I want to, which is a problem probably. But I just love some of these beautiful pictures and her philosophies and her thought processes and what she's done in her previous creative practices, challenges. It is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Highly recommend. Ray Dunn and In Pursuit of Inspiration, Trust Your Instincts and Make More Art. And so I grabbed that yesterday. That was the last thing that I picked up. Now let's have a quick chat about journals before I let you go. Recently I have done a whole week's worth of 10-minute journal pages, and I did this challenge a little while ago where every day for 6 days I would journal for 10 minutes every day and see what I could do in that 10 minutes with a timer and everything. It's stressful as heck. And I've done it before, and I decided to do it again because I was just procrastinating a lot. I did it before with Hobonichi pages, which were great because you got a lot done. But this time I kind of jumped between junk journal, this journal, and I even brought this baby out. I know it's been a while. Actually, I will start with this one because everyone has been loving these pages. I had a huge epiphany with this little journal, and I think we're finally becoming friends again. So you may see this baby pop up on YouTube soon. More soon rather than later. I have reworked quite a few of the pages already. Some of them are still the same. I'll pull out just a tiny bit so you can see as much as you can. Get my big cup out of the way. I thought I wasn't loving where some of these pages were going. I wasn't loving them at all. Even though my style is relatively the same, I have advanced in how I create, how I do pages, how I finish pages, and I'm feeling a lot more confident in my artistic skill and my, what is the word? I can't even think of how I want to express myself in this moment. But I feel like with doing Patreon and with filming and making so much more art than I normally do, I generally feel that I am getting better at creating things and putting things together and also teaching. And so I stopped with this because I hated where some of these pages went, and I felt stuck and I felt a bit pigeonholed. And so I decided that in some of my 10 minutes, I was going to rework some of these pages because I didn't like them. And so I started reworking some of the pages. Some of them I've kept elements of them here. And then I've obviously added new stuff, new collage elements, new painted bits to try and bring them back to life and to try and spark something new in me, because when in a rut, change it up. And I was definitely feeling rutty. I've had 2019's just been really, really cruddy, family-wise, and not like family-wise. My kids are just going through a few rough patches, which has put a lot of stress on Mama's heart. And I just feel a slight bit burnt out. And so every now and again, I kind of get a bit down on myself, and I can feel that sort of depression looming. And so I try and change things up to sort of get myself out of that funk and go, okay, here's something new. Focus your attention on something new and try and leave what is making you feeling a bit crappy in the back of the room and, you know, get a bit more momentum. So these 10 minutes I started working. I didn't do anything to these pages, so they're still as they were in the videos on YouTube. As is this one. I think I added this and this alone. But I also completely changed the look of this page. So this is a completely new page. and I loved it. This was not part of the 10 minutes challenge. This was an actual rework from start to finish as a single video. And there was so much that I didn't like about the original page, and I'm so glad that I just went ham and went stuff it. It's time to do something different, and if I don't like something, I'm going to cover it up, because I just don't have time for pages that I don't like, and those pages were stopping me from creating in this book. And so I went, nah. And this was also one of those pages, obviously not in finished. I couldn't get pages finished in those 10 minutes, but I definitely could change and rework some of them. And I still have pages, a lot of things to go with them, but it's the process of getting them started to get that sort of creative juices happening in this book to sort of give it another fresh lease, and means it will be picked up a lot more often than what it was. It was sitting on a bookshelf collecting dust. So there's those. And then a quick look at my current journal. In my standard, I'm going to pull it out of the... So I will do a quick flip of this, and then I'm going to leave you be, because I can feel my throat is just not happy with all the amount of chatting I've been doing lately. So my standard, you've seen it. There's a lot of places that need journaling. Is my phone ringing? No, it's not. Someone's just messaging me. So I've got all these bits and pieces kind of happening in this journal. I've shown you quite a few of these already, but I know you guys like to see if there's any added bits and pieces. I need to have a good sit down with my pen and just journal my soul out, basically. My little pink pages. These little bits and bobs. This was the Choose Your Own Adventure, where I was journaling in a certain color palette with certain elements and things, a challenge that we do every month. And even though I had a lot of trouble, I think I conquered the challenge quite well. Slowly getting these pages put together. I have a little bit more to work on these pages and some writing and stuff, and then they'll be done. I hope to get this journal finished before I leave for Japan, so I need to do quite a bit of journaling in the next 4 weeks. This was a page spread that I started and did 10 minutes worth of, and obviously I didn't draw her. She was a sketch I had on a spare piece of paper while I was listening to Lily read to me for homework time. And then this is where I left off, and I've got sort of bits and pieces. A picture of me and Wally and this guy. And I'm pretty sure that is where we're at. We're almost at the halfway part, so I feel like I can get there to the end before I have to stop. But yes, that is where we are. I did work in my junk journal as well, but I don't think my junk journal is so fat. I think I worked back here, so I put in a few little odds and ends into these sort of pages. I don't like this. Something's gonna... I felt so stupid doing that, but he's so on there, so I'm gonna have to do something. I feel like the tone of him was the wrong picture to put down, but I was panicking at the 10 minutes that I had. But it's just, this junk journal can't have anything else put into it. It just needs a whole heap of my writing and thoughts and stuff. There's just no more room at the inn. There's no more room. We're at max capacity. Like literally I can't do any more. So once I've finished with the actual writing, I will flip this journal on YouTube, and then I'll make another one. I am considering making, well, I am actually going to make a junk journal for my Japan journal in the standard size again. I think I had the most fun with this. I had a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed it from start to finish. And it's not finished yet. It just needs my writing. I mean, everything about this journal was a pleasure, and I think I really needed a pleasurable journal experience, like fun from start to finish, creating it myself. This is actually the Midori folder that I'd purchased, and that's the cover, and then I'd obviously sewn the signatures, or Sian sewed the signatures in, and I didn't do heaps of pages, but I've added so much to it that it's just a fatty cake. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been playing around in a little while, and I thought you'd enjoy the haul. And having a look at my sewing book journal. It's come back to risen from the ashes like a phoenix. But I am gonna have some fun with that in the next couple of videos. Working on my Japan journal, working on my new Japan journal, and just having a lot of fun with my stationery. I love, if you haven't subscribed to Mitza's channel, go over and subscribe to her. She does Stationery Sunday videos where she just chats about stationery, and man, I flippin' love those videos. Like, I really enjoy her just talking about stationery. It is so nice to sit with your journal and a cup of tea or whatever and just listen to her talk stationery and show her bits and bobs off. People may hate it because they're not big haul people, but sometimes it's not just talking about hauls, it's talking about what she's been using lately, switching covers, you name it. And I just, the Nook chat kind of feels like that to me, which is what made me think of her, about her channel, because those are some of my favorite videos to watch while I'm just meandering and trying to figure out what I'm doing. But yeah, I am really enjoying journaling and just stationery at the moment. They bring me a lot of joy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this incredibly long Nook chat. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you again very soon for another Nook chat, probably next month, when I talk to you about my Japan journal and give you a look at what I'm taking. So yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.